A single gold coin, minted over a century ago, has risen from obscurity to become one of the most desired pieces in the world of rare coin collecting. And if you ever come across the 1916 C gold sovereign, you may be holding something so extraordinary that it could change your financial future in ways you never imagined. Because this coin is not just rare. It is historic, powerful, and capable of reaching astonishing prices at auction. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to subscribe now so you never miss future videos that uncover treasures like this. Transitioning into the story behind this incredible coin, the 1916 C sovereign is far more than a gold disc. It represents an unusual moment in history, a moment shaped by world conflict, gold shortages, and a mint that was never supposed to produce sovereigns for long. The C mintmark stands for Canada, specifically the Royal Mint branch in Ottawa, which operated as a sovereign-producing facility for only a few short years. Because of this extremely limited window, every coin made there is already scarce, and the 1916 C is the rarest of them all. During 1916, the world was deep in the turmoil of World War I. Gold was being redirected for war funding, international shipments were restricted, and production of gold coins dropped dramatically across the British Empire. The Ottawa Mint, facing pressure, limited resources, and tightening supplies, struck only a tiny number of sovereigns. This small mintage created a rarity that no one at the time could have predicted would become legendary. Collectors today understand the significance of this coin's survival. Many 1916 C sovereigns were melted down as gold reserves were consolidated during and after the war. Fewer still survived in high grade, making any remaining specimen valuable and making pristine examples extraordinarily valuable. The combination of history, mintage scarcity, and global demand for Canadian mint-marked sovereigns is exactly what gives this coin its power in the market. The design itself still follows the classic Benedetto Pastrucci St. George and the dragon motif, an iconic symbol of strength, courage, and victory. But on the 1916 C, the tiny C below the horse's hooves changes everything. That small mint mark transforms the piece from a common sovereign into a rarity that can command breathtaking premiums. And collectors will pay for that difference, sometimes paying more for the mint mark than for the gold itself. A coin like this gains value not only from scarcity but from the story that surrounds it. Collectors are not just buying gold, they are buying a fragment of wartime history, a trace of Canada's short-lived involvement in sovereign production, and a symbol of a global empire transitioning through one of the most difficult periods of the modern era. When history, rarity, and desire intersect, value naturally skyrockets. In recent years, the 1916 C gold sovereign has reached impressive prices. High-grade certified examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and some exceptional specimens have crossed the $200,000 mark at major auctions. And yes, that means the maximum potential selling price for a pristine example can reach well into the high five-figure or even six-figure range. When the right collector competes for the right coin, there is no limit to how high the bidding can climb. And make no mistake, this coin is valuable. This is not a maybe, not a possibility, not something hypothetical. This coin carries real, proven, market-recognized value. There are collectors who specifically search for the 1916 C and will pay extraordinary amounts because they understand exactly how impossible it is to find one in beautiful condition. If you ever find one of these coins, treat it as a treasure. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not handle it with bare hands. Because its condition is directly tied to its selling price, and even a small scratch can mean the difference between selling it for $15,000 or selling it for over $150,000. These coins are investments, and their value grows because the supply is essentially frozen in time. No new 1916 C sovereigns will ever be minted again. This is why collectors love sovereigns. They combine artistry, history, and gold content into a single object. But when a sovereign comes from a rare mint, from a rare year, and survives in a rare condition, it becomes a masterpiece. And the 1916 C is widely considered the king of Canadian sovereigns. The Ottawa Mint stopped producing sovereigns shortly after this year, which means the 1916 C marks the end of a short and fascinating chapter. When production ceased, few realized that these coins would one day represent the pinnacle of Canadian numismatics. But time has elevated them, and today they are among the most coveted gold coins ever struck on Canadian soil. As collectors compete for them globally, the price continues to rise. Every auction adds new momentum. Every new record sale pushes the ceiling higher. And every surviving specimen that falls into long-term collections becomes permanently removed from the market, making the remaining supply even smaller. That is the power of scarcity. That is the power of a truly rare coin. Imagine holding a piece of gold that was struck in wartime Canada, sent out into the world, survived global conflict, economic shifts, and a century of change. Imagine knowing that the very coin in your hand could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, or even more than a house. That potential makes the 1916 a dream coin for collectors and investors alike. If you are watching this because you love rare coins, now is the perfect time to subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated on more stories about coins that have changed lives, created fortunes, and revealed hidden wealth that people never knew they had. Subscribe now and help grow our community of treasure seekers. Returning to the story, the 1916 gold sovereign continues to inspire fascination across the world. It is a coin that represents the unexpected. How something small, almost forgotten, can become incredibly powerful over time. The fact that this coin has broken price records again and again shows that passion, history, and rarity form one of the strongest combinations in the entire collectibles market. For anyone lucky enough to own one, the advice is simple. Get it authenticated, get it graded, and understand its place in numismatic history. Because when you have something this rare, you hold a financial and historical asset that few people on Earth will ever experience. And if you decide to sell, you will find enthusiastic buyers willing to pay remarkable prices for the privilege of owning what you once held. Before we conclude, remember once more to subscribe, because the next video might reveal a treasure hiding in your home, your drawer, or your old collection. Something that might be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your next discovery could start with the click of a single button. The 1916 gold sovereign stands as one of the greatest examples of how scarcity, history, and condition can transform a coin from simple currency into a masterpiece of immense value. And if you ever encounter one, you will understand exactly why collectors chase it, why prices soar, and why this small Canadian mint mark has become a giant in the world of rare gold coins.